Let's 3D print our farts.
Now, before you decide that you're too distinguished to watch this video, we want you to realize that you're not.
Because that's not really what this video is about. Okay, that might be what we called it, but it is about that, and that will happen, trust me. It's not clickbait, but this is much more about the human creative process.
So we made an experiment.
It's more of a journey.
Yeah, a journey.
Of following an idea from its conception through a series of human interpretations and expressions to the end of a chain to see if there's anything that was retained in the idea.
I like to think of it as the human centipede of creativity.
Yeah, we almost called this video that.
It sounded like the White Lotus soundtrack.
No, it was actually Frozen. So we decided to start the journey by writing a song. That's one of the ways that we collaborate and create. Posture-wise, what are you doing?
It just feels like if the things come from places, that comes from there. You know what I mean?
You may have heard people talk about this, a lot of artists talk about this concept of them receiving an idea from somewhere outside of them, right?
Yeah. Like an antenna.
And then they take it and they dispense it to the rest of us.
Oh. I figured out how we can sing something and record it and then translate it into MIDI and then make it any instrument that we want.
I just wanna get to know Layla Fado. Get to know Layla Fado. A lot of artists do this thing where you're just kind of singing gibberish to kind of get a melody, to just find a little track to run on.
Spank bank.
Don't say spank bang.
Swank stank.
Swank stank.
Okay.
That's better.
All right.
I can live with
Go ahead
that.
and record it.
What's the deal with your spank bank?
No, dude.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
This is a creative exercise. This isn't a joke.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okay, that's great.
I think I found him. I think I found my keys.
Ha!
Hey, it's great. It's great. We got to take this thing and put it in the pipeline now, the human pipeline.
Chef Diego Argoti.
Yes, he is known as the king of chaos cooking and LA's pasta punk. He comes from this extreme fine dining background, this really accomplished technical chef who has now taken his skills and brought them to a barcade in LA called Button Mash, where he's opened up this restaurant. He calls it Poltergeist.
So we sent him the song, and the only instruction that we gave him was listen to it and translate it into a dish based on your inspiration. No more input from us.
And we're gonna show up and eat the song.
How's it going?
Great. What? Wow.
When I first saw what Diego had prepared for us, I had no idea what any of it was.
So, the beginning, I felt like there's like a lot of small staccatos and brightness and voices, right? Rather than it being like something like a wall of sound. When the bass hits towards the end is kind of what this is.
That's a
And pop
churro
rocks.
with steak covered in squid ink and what?
And pop rocks on top, just to kind of bring out the loudness. In between there, we have fermented fruit, and then we have little rounds of puffed squid ink dough that is going to have a raw scallop and fermented passion fruit.
What in the song gave you the squid ink?
just the sound got really deep and dark for a second.
Right.
We gotta dink it,
Let's go.
and then we gotta sneak it. So my squidding steak is sizzling in my mouth.
No, it's cool.
So we're just gonna kill this. All I was thinking was, wow, he's cooperating. We
Yeah.
found someone who was
He
willing
did
to
it.
play with us. I love the fact that as I'm eating this, now I know what the song tastes like. And every time I listen to the song now, I'm gonna taste this.
I feel like you stepped it up. Like you've actually increased the complexity and the creative quotient of this transmission.
The inspiration is trying to take something and turn it into something that doesn't have to be better, but it just has to be a different iteration of what that may be.
Well, thanks for being a willing participant in this chain of creativity. I feel like you've raised the bar and now we've got to digest. We have ingested, now we will digest.
I will be thinking of you at 4 a.m. when I'm filming myself fart.
You and a couple others.
So once you eat a meal, you know what happens next.
And technically, according to the internet, about 6 to 8 hours later after you eat a meal, that's when any farts that you make will be a result of that meal.
Yeah, you think you just driving home and it's like, oh man, I have so much gas.
And that's usually from some
That's from
point in
something
the past.
else.
So what that meant is that we had to set an alarm to wake up in the middle of the night and gather the first fruits. Okay, early morning session. I got one ready to go.
Oh my gosh, check. Can't believe I'm doing this.
I've been sleeping for a while, and so this one's fresh. I mean, this is the first gas that I have consciously released.
Gotta get some out. Thanks for being here, guys. We've assembled this cross-functional task force because you each are the best at what you do.
And we have a very special task. We have produced a series of sounds, and we are going to be asking you to turn those sounds into a work of art.
Like a sculpture, basically.
Okay.
I made some of the sounds, Rhett made some of the sounds. We can play them for you now. Here's one of mine. Well, I have another one.
What is that? What happened to you?
Here's my third one. Wanna hear
You
that?
crinkling a newspaper?
No. Here's my fourth one. Oh, that one's better.
Is there a dog there?
What else is happening in the room? Okay, when I play for you my first sound, I believe you'll know what you've been hearing. Yeah, that's all right. Do you know what that is?
I have a guess.
I mean, I knew I wasn't able to conjure something, but damn.
Oh, hold on. That was the little one.
What? You're gonna have to swear that it's real.
Oh, I swear it was real, and there's video evidence. Roll the tape.
What key do you think that was in musically?
Well, it started in F and then went to A and then went to R and then finished on T.
I actually didn't see that coming until the T, which is embarrassing.
Oh, the key of R. The reason we gathered you here is because Chris, you're obviously the sound guy. I mean, you can kind of tell, and we would like you to be able to basically take these sounds and then hand them off in their most pristine fashion to Twinkie, who's going to basically take these things and do his 3D modeling thing.
And then you would send it to Jesse to bring it into the real world via 3D printing. We want to be able to walk around it.
Give it depth.
Each fart can be a piece of this thing potentially.
A fartrahedron?
Yeah. A dove arcturhedron.
Dove.
Yeah.
Dove.
Different
The Fartigon.
platonic solids.
All right. Well, we trust you, and we're sorry.
I'm not.
So I'm going to take my sound file. The next step is to take this and basically say, now make liquid come from this. And so basically what it ends up looking like is this sphere emitting liquid, this really long, stretchy thing. But we don't want it to be that big, so I think what I'm gonna do is shrink it down. It would look really cool if it was more angular, because when I hear Rhett's fart, I feel attacked almost. I think I'm gonna take Rhett's other fart and put it through a similar process. For Link's farts, they're very short. I don't think there's a whole lot there for me to kind of do the same thing. So I think I'm going to kind of use them to connect the two, almost kind of like how Rhett and Link are always connected. And then I'll probably just do a little bit of cleaning up on this design and then send it over to print.
You ready? Are we ready? We're ready.
I'm ready.
Wow. That is crazy.
Well, I'm assuming that this is one of my farts.
Correct.
This is one of my farts. My two big farts couldn't be held together without your little farts.
That's right. Don't you forget it. Oh, it's light.
Why'd you say it so aggressively?
Oh, wow. It's so light.
So how long did this take?
So 82 plus hours of 3D printing, and then the sanding, painting, refinishing, filling, sanding, painting, refinishing process took around 18 hours.
it doesn't have any business being this elegant.
It's beautiful.
It's like a work of fart. I was like, the one thing that I know I'm going to say
Yeah, that's
at
good.
some point is, wow, a work of fart.
Thank you.
This has exceeded all of my expectations, and it really, I think, is going to be inspiring for the rest of the journey.
Oh yeah.
So now we're gonna take it, and we're going to.
Oh, I'll take it.
That's
And we're
probably
going
my
to. Great job.
Thank you.
Oh, I almost. I was gonna give her 5, and
You just can't help yourself.
it next-
That wasn't my fault.
I'm gonna give Jesse 5.
Okay, well,
Keep
give
that
me a
away.
warning next
It's gonna
time.
take 82 hours to print
It's
it
coming
again,
up.
so just don't.
Good job.
I took it from him in
I
order to
love
keep it
it.
from getting broken, and he still almost broke it.
Now don't click away because you got what you came for, a 3D printed fart.
Right, because it's what we were gonna do with it next that really got us excited. We decided to show the sculpture to an interpretive dancer. That interpretive dancer is Aliya Kerim, who has 2 master's degrees in the world of dance and is currently studying bodily connectivity.
And we weren't interested in pulling a prank on Aliya. So it was important that we tell her that, hey, the sculpture is from our
fart
farts.
sculpture. As you know, we have asked you here to perform a dance, an interpretive dance, while looking at a sculpture that was made from our farts. How do you approach that?
In this case, I will approach with all my understanding of what art is through my personal study in art. So I'll see how my body feel.
And one of the things that a human body does is fart.
Thank you for reminding us this aspect of nature.
I get reminded of it all the time.
Absolutely.
But what I will say, and I think we wanted you to know that this is how this sculpture came about because we want you to know exactly the situation that you're stepping into.
Great.
We saw an opportunity to take multiple art forms at this point and link them together in a rapid chain reaction of creativity.
Okay, so now the next step in this little chain reaction is to, while Aliya is dancing, have a painter watch her dance, but not be able to see the sculpture, and in that moment, create an original work of art.
Colby Meagle Dunn is an abstract artist and an art teacher, and she brought her own easel, her own paints, and brushes.
Yeah, she's a painter.
Now that we are all in our places, when I say begin, Aliya, at that point, you can turn around and see the art and just do your thing.
And then Colby, Obviously, you can't see the art, but you will be able to see Aliya and whatever she inspires you to paint. Put it on the canvas, and you just take your time and let us know when you are done.
Okay. Begin. The painting has already started.
This is crazy.
Oh, they've both been over at the same time. Oh, wow. My goodness. I'm just overwhelmed by the just pride. I think this is like a pinnacle of our career. Of all the stuff we've done, we've never done this.
Good gracious. I get so dizzy. And I'm still thinking about that initial song that we wrote, right? The thing that I'm secretly hopeful of is that that song that we wrote is going to be retained through this process, however unlikely that may seem.
Should we clean the floor first?
I don't think she's doing a fine job at it. If I were asked to dance like that, you might get 90 seconds, and I'd have to take a chair.
Oh, yeah. And if I were Colby, I probably would have just painted a dancer.
She didn't paint a dancer. She painted, is it a tree?
It's abstract.
Yes, abstract. Okay, I've got to know, like, what were you getting from Aliya that translated into what you've painted here?
Sure. So when she started, it was very strong centered energy. So I started with the oranges and the pinks in the middle, like where she was. And then as she started to move, it was very directed upward. So I had this energy kind of flowing upwards. And then she started to like go down to the ground. So this is like the grounding of her movement. And then I was getting a lot of swirls. So throughout that was kind of like wind or like something like that, like wind kind of. And then the tree form, because I saw like yoga poses sort of, and interpreted into your dance. It felt
it feels very tree-like. Well, you know what? Let's bring this. I want to bring.
Yeah, go get this.
Colby hasn't seen.
Oh my goodness! It's
That's
like
awesome.
the same sort of strokes
Like yes, it's
and
like
movement.
if this were to like be giving off some sort of energy and like be filled with color, it feels like it would, like you got this base down here and you got this trunk and then branching out. It feels very like.
I feel like you did an amazing
How did you do
job.
that?
I think your painting explored my inner heart.
This is so great.
Yes. We received a song that was translated into a meal that we then turned into some farts that were turned into a sculpture that were interpretively danced to and then painted.
And now we're going to take this painting. We're going to give it to a musician who is going to interpret this and create an original song. Brian Kennedy is a multi-Grammy winning musician and producer who has worked with Rihanna, Lady Gaga, and many more.
He's also a really good friend of ours and one of the most intuitive musicians we've ever met.
And our secret hope is that this final song will retain some essence, some element of our initial song.
Knock, knock.
Yo.
We made it.
Yes, sir.
I got my easel here.
You do it, man. Bring it in.
I'm gonna set this thing up out of the way.
I can't let you see this.
Okay.
This is the baby right here.
Right.
Go. How y'all
Put
feeling?
it backwards up there.
Okay, yeah. You know what? This is where the idea stands now, right? It's reached this point. So just on your own time, when you feel ready, just turn it around and do your thing.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
It's kind of dramatic.
Okay. Let me take a look.
this plane of creativity, where all ideas are born, which apparently consist of stock images of people placing post-it notes on glass. A human centipede of creativity ate itself.
Oh, hey, fellas. What's up?
Oh shit, it's Post Malone.
What are you doing here?
I hang out here all the time. It's where I get most of my creations.
But how are you here?
Well, in this particular case, I was transported here by your creative idea to have a post-it note named Post.
Yeah, that was a great idea.
Now go explore, you crazy kids.
We humans are not mere spectators. We fill the silence of the universe with a symphony and illuminate the darkness of space with the sparks of imagination. Let's take an idea back home. Let's take an idea back home. I think we've got it. I think we've got it.